Orlando.
Welcome to the OZone.
Welcome to the OZone.
Welcome to the OZone.
Welcome to the OZone.
The voice of Magic fans.
Welcome back to another episode of the OZone podcast, the voice of Magic fans. In the virtual studio today, we have Justin.
Yo.
Al.
What's going on?
Myself, Anthony, and a very special guest joining us, former Orlando Magic forward, Andrew Nicholson.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Yeah. What's up? What's going on?
Not much. Just, at home, social distancing.
Yeah, for sure. How's obviously here in Florida, we're still kind of working through some kinks. We're trying to force a reopening, but right now you're in Toronto, Canada. How's that going over there for you?
I mean, it's been good so far. We've had this quarantine happen for like a little over a month now, and only essential businesses and restaurants are available for like delivery and takeout. But they're strapping it pretty hard up here. I think they're gonna make an announcement within the week about whether they can open those smaller businesses, because I think they're starting to flatten the curve a little bit. But until then, I'm just here at home. I only go out for groceries and some fresh air on the balcony. That's about it. So. That's
the way to do it. So what have you been doing to stay busy?
So I've been doing a lot for my my nonprofit camp, 44 Hoops. We've just been on the phone, just trying to raise more awareness, and we're offering like certain programs for the camp now because we can't have it this summer, obviously. But we're thinking of ways where we can help, like the alumni of the camp. We've had it for about 6 years now, so just staying in touch with the kids and making sure that they're all doing well. Is what we're pretty much doing now. So we're doing the groundwork for next year right now.
Awesome. What about for fun? What are you doing for fun? Are you watching any Netflix, anything that's keeping you busy on that end?
Yeah, for fun. I mean, I'm playing a lot of Warzone at night. So, I know everybody's on and I make TikToks now just for fun too. Me and my fiance Holly, we love the app. It's very positive. It's very fun. It's very easy to do as well too.
You're an avid TikToker because the TikTok videos because I just got put on. My wife just recently put me on. She shows me videos here and there, and it's really entertaining. But you seem like an advanced TikToker. Like your videos, you got clips and edits. You got the whole nine.
That. I still think I'm an amateur. I mean, I just come up with like whatever ideas, and I just apply it to like everyday life. Like I did a dishwasher one the other day where you wash the dishes with a spoon, it's going to go everywhere, right? So we just made a little theatrical. It's just a lot of editing, really. That's really the tough part. But other than that, they don't take me that long to make.
How does I tried to use TikTok a couple times, but it felt a little too complicated for me. The editing and the music, but I don't know, when people put it on, it just feels so seamless. So I think it's an awesome editing tool for sure.
There's some people on there who are just like pros. Like they just make it seem like they have like a 15-second movie on there. But I just know like when to like cut film, add music and stuff, and it's fun. I'm learning a lot about that, during this time too. So it's just another, I guess we could say, skill I can add to the repertoire.
There you go.
Now, you mentioned that you were playing a little Call of Duty. So in terms of gaming, are you more Xbox or PlayStation? Because we have a team that we're a little divided right now.
I'm Xbox 1,000% from day one.
Yes.
Oh, man.
There you go.
The thing about PlayStation is that, they have the same games as Xbox, but all the exclusive games of PlayStation are all single player. So it's like they're mostly for players who like to run like the solo RPGs and stuff. But whatever you can get on PS4, you can get on Xbox in terms of playing with like multiplayer and friends and stuff.
So
that's a good take.
So there you go, Al. You're hearing it from Andrew that you need to get an Xbox.
Let's move it along.
The good thing is we can cross-play though. There's
that's true.
Platform, so that's the good thing with Warzone. The PC guys just destroy everybody. So.
No, it's just the hackers. They don't have all these tricks on how to hack the games that makes it easy for them.
Yeah, I think crossplay should be something that's implemented throughout.
So tough.
We all have friends that have PlayStations, and we want to play 2K.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, how bad is that feeling where you're asking a friend, oh, you got the same game? What system you're on? they say they're on PlayStation and you're on Xbox. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
You feel left
And
out.
then your friends try to convince you. Your friends try to convince you to buy a PlayStation, but you know it's not worth it.
Actually, it's the other way around. So I actually convinced one of my good friends to sell his PS4 to get an Xbox, and he did it.
That works.
Yeah, he told it. He was like, "Man, I don't know why I had this because no one had a PlayStation in our like group of friends." So.
But you know what? You bring up a really good point because you're right. A lot of the exclusive games from PlayStation, they are single player. And we're really in the time frame, it's 2020 where everything's all about social. So if you really have a game that you can't really play with, your friends, how entertaining is it? Especially these games where, you're competitive. You don't care about the story mode. You're trying to beat the team. You're trying to beat the people that you play with, the whole nine. So
for sure, 100% about the competition.
I love it. PlayStation will be good. Like when I go to China, I mean, it's hard for me to play with people over here because A, the time zone, and B, the internet's terrible over there. So if I had a PlayStation over there, that actually would have been better because I could just play by myself. Essentially.
That makes sense.
It's a silver lining in that.
But let's get to know you a little bit, Andrew. So obviously everyone's really familiar with you from the time that you spent with us. But before we jump into your time with the Magic, who are your biggest influences growing up? What really got you into basketball?
So I actually started basketball super late. This was like junior year of high school is when I really got into it. So prior to that, I wasn't really on a team. I wasn't doing anything competitive. I mean, I played at recess because I was tall, right? But, I wasn't very good. So I really got into – I was actually into baseball prior to basketball. So I grew up playing baseball, T-ball, rookie ball. And I was about, 9 years, I think? I played about 9 years. Then I went to high school. I tried out for the baseball team, and I was super tall, so my strike zone was super tall, so I wasn't very good. So basketball coach came up to me and was like, hey, come, try out for the team. You're tall. We could use someone like you. So I was out there, very raw, but I had the good movement and stuff, and I just kind of grew on me from there.
That's impressive. So you started playing junior year in high school, and you were able to make it to play in college and make it to an NBA career. Wow.
Yeah. So there was a lot of work in college, man. I took every summer. I stayed in college. I got ahead in courses, and I was just spending hours and hours in the gym because the city that my university was in, Olean, New York, very small, like 12,000 people in the whole city. So during the summer, there's literally nothing to do. There's 2 hours of class, and then there's 22 hours left in the day. So I'm in the gym. I shot maybe thousands and thousands of jump hooks. That's all I was doing, and it just paid off. I worked on my touch, and I ended up working on my shot, and enabled me to get to the next level.
Do you feel as if you being a late bloomer, starting basketball as a junior, puts you at a disadvantage?
I feel like it was the right time for me to start. Because who knows, if I started early, maybe I could have peaked at a different point, But I think at some point, everything like kind of happens for a reason, and it happened for the right time. So me being able to make it to that level because of the dedication, hard work, and the passion I actually had for the game at that point really, enabled me to get there.
So when you started playing, as a junior, did you have immediate aspirations of like, I want to make it to the NBA, or was it more like, I'm just interested in this, so I'm just gonna work and get there?
So when I was a junior, I was really big into education. So the route I was going to go, I was planning to be a doctor. I was planning to go to med school. So I was like, hey, you know what? I'm getting good at basketball. Let me use this to get me a free education. So I did that, and I started taking chemistry in St. Bonaventure. And it was around my second year where the coach pulled me aside, and he was like, you're doing very well. Like, you can go pro. And I was, I kind of looked at him crazy. I thought he was joking with me. He's like, no, I'm serious. Like, you can be, a professional. You have great touch. You have a great shot. And if you keep working, the next 2 years, you can be overseas or in the NBA. So I then switched my gears from going to the med school field to actually focusing more on basketball. And I switched my major from chemistry to physics that way, because with chemistry, I had 3 labs a week, and we were always traveling. So my partner was pissed. I was missing labs. I had to come back late and make it up. So I went to something less taxing. And the physics enabled me to only have one lab a week, and it was mostly theory. So doing that, I got ahead in courses. I started to, learn more about the game and what I needed to get myself better for at the next level, and enabled me to come to you guys.
That's pretty awesome. So education is one of those things that was really important to you. I know it plays a huge role in the 44 Hoops camp as well. How does your passion for education kind of translate to the work that you're doing with the kids?
So we are really big on discipline. We want them to be professionals, not only on the court, but in the classroom as well too. So with that being said, so for example, we want to show the connection of, like if I want to get better at ball handling and shooting and passing, whatever it is, I got to put in the time, I got to put in the extra hours, the extra work. And we want to show them that you can do the same mentality that you guys have to get better on the court is the same mentality you have in the classroom. And that's what I used to do too when I was younger. So if I was stuck on a math problem, I would like research and I would get tutors. I would actually get, external help. And once I understood it, I would like further my, like I want to know more. I want to know more about it. And some of the times, I'd be ahead of like what's the assignments would be because I'm like, hey, I researched that already. I looked at that already. So I want kids to have that same initiative to want to strive and get better, in the classroom as well as they want to strive and get better on the court as well too.
I think it shows that because you spent the 4 years as a student athlete at St. Bonaventure in New York and whatnot. Now, do you feel as if the 4 years that you had in college helped you better prepare for the transition of moving to the NBA?
I think it did because like I could have came out my third year. I'm not sure where I would have been or where I would have got picked, but I decided, hey, I got one more year. I want to get my degree because I don't know where this basketball journey can take me. Because one injury, one whatever it is, your career will be done. But if you get your degree, there's something no one will ever take away from you. There's always something you have in your back pocket. So it also gave me another year to get my body better because in college I was very thin. I was 220. And the NBA, at that time, power forwards at that time were like 6'10",
Yep.
Big body,
strong. Yeah. So it enabled me to, put a little more mass on, work more on my skills, work on my weaknesses as well as, get a degree that I'll have forever. And it was a win-win situation. And I'm glad I stayed the 4 years.
So that's good. So it ended up paying off for you because you were drafted 19th overall, right, in the 2012 draft. Talk a little bit about what that draft experience was like for you.
It was amazing. So being able to, I think I worked out for 13 teams, and just seeing like fellow athletes who I've seen on TV played against, all strive for the same goal. We were traveling like kind of like an NBA schedule. You work out one day, you're in the next city the other day. So experiencing that was just like an eye opener. Like this is how it's going to be. So I started to learn, like, I need to get my rest. I need to eat properly. I got to work out the next day, or I got to fly to this other part of the city. So it was very surreal, seeing some of the stars on the team too, as well in the gym while we were working out was something I'll never forget. It was amazing.
Any favorite memories for you going through the draft process and, getting drafted? It's a lot of work. Any favorite memories you can recall from that experience?
One of my favorite memories was, after I worked up for my last team, they asked if I wanted to go to the draft, the draft party where everybody goes and shake David Stern's hand. But, I kind of wanted to do it a little different. So we actually rented a section up here in Toronto, and I had all my closest friends and family, people from my university, my high school, family from everywhere. They all just came in, and we had the draft party there. So being able to, hear my name be called around them was something I'll never forget. I still have the picture somewhere, but it was amazing.
I actually remember seeing that footage. I remember seeing that footage and the level of excitement that you showed when your name was called, even more so getting drafted by the Magic, was like, I can imagine. Granted, everyone has the dreams of being drafted, whatever the case may be, so I can only imagine how surreal that moment was. And again, the level of excitement that you showed really showed that you were excited to be part of not only the NBA, but the destination of where you were going as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember I came worked out. I think Orlando was my fourth or fifth workout, and just being in the city down there, I was like, this place is cool. It's warm. It's quiet. It's amazing. I walked to the facility. The facility I think was like recently built. I think it was like relatively new at that time. So I was like, wow, the facility is amazing. Rob Hennigan was going to be the GM there at that time too, and I had a great workout with them in OKC. Yeah, I was like Orlando, like, oh my gosh, like that's a great city. I actually have some family in Kissimmee as well too. So
that worked out.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well.
Now, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm gonna put you on the spot real quick. Since you have family in Kissimmee, can you spell Kissimmee? Because this is like it's one of those words that you only know how to spell if you're familiar with the area.
Is it Kissi? Is it MME? Or is it MEE?
It's MME, but there's another E on top of it. So there's
two M's and two E's.
Two M's and two E's.
Okay.
There's two S's, two M's, two E's, but I still give you credit because that's a tough one.
Yeah, that is tough.
So what would you say during your time in the NBA? Who would you say, from your memory, is one of the toughest guys that you had to defend?
I remember I had to defend. We played Utah my rookie year, so Al Jefferson was there. He's just so skilled and so big, man. Oh my gosh, that was an eye opener. Our games are similar too. His old man game, shot fake, jump hook, but he was just far more advanced than what I had to do. So I mean, it was tough, but I mean, it was fun because I always watched him in college as well too. I pulled up YouTube clips and watched his footwork and just his style of play, and yeah, he was definitely one of the hardest ones I had to guard. Utah Al is a beast.
Yeah, I felt like Al Jefferson wasn't the most athletic player on the court, but he really knew how to have the right footwork. He had the right body to where he can push people around. He had the good size. He was very skilled as a ball player. That kind of reminded me of your game a little bit in the sense where you really put a focus around the fundamentals of the game. So right. Whether it's the mid-range jump shot that you killed, the backboard, whatever the case may be, it's impressive to see a player like that, especially because when I was doing just a little additional research on you, I was surprised at the fact that you were a late bloomer because your game didn't show that you were a late bloomer.
Yeah, I just I guess the hours I put in and just the touch, I kind of broke it down. So I figured that if I have a hook that's great left and right, all I have to do is get to a spot that I want and shoot it. So if I'm backing someone down, if he's on one side of the shoulder, all I have to do is spin and shoot the hook that I shot thousands of times. Or if I go quickly and he bites, I just go and scoop it right under. I just really made it simple. I just simplified it. And the most important part is pace. So, I mean, when you have the ball, you're in control. Don't let the defender speed you up. You get to decide the tempo of, how you want to put the ball in the basket.
Now, Andrew, after your time with the Magic, you were moved over to the Wizards, and then from the Wizards to Brooklyn, and then there was that decision that was made to join the CBA. What type of questions do you have to ask yourself in saying, okay, maybe there is a better opportunity across waters, across the country to a place like China that's pretty unfamiliar, I would imagine.
Yeah, so when that situation happened, I mean, I remember I got traded to Portland. I kind of figured that my contract would have been waived and stretched because I put them over the salary caps. So we had a conversation with my agent. It was like, do we go on a non-guaranteed deal and go to camp, try to fight for a spot, or do we go and make this extra money overseas? And at that point, because being in Brooklyn, I didn't really play that much. I'm a human being. My confidence wasn't very high. So I'm like, let's go over to another place where I can, get my mojo back and see what the next year holds. Because, being in China, you also have the ability to join a team on a 10-day or so, right? So I went to Guangdong, and we were very good. So I stayed there until the end of April, which was past the deadline. But, being there that late, I started to, feel like I can play this game. So being over there. You know, you have to be a scorer, and you have to you have to be efficient every night. Otherwise, they send you home. So, having that extra push enabled me to learn myself as a player. You know, my weaknesses, what I need to work on, and what I'm good at, what I'm not good at. And after that year, you know, we had the opportunity to do another non-guarantee, but I was like, I really enjoyed, you know, learning who I was as a player over in China. Let's go back and let's do it again. And then I kept doing it, and the kids ended up here, still in playing with Guangzhou. Unfortunately, our season's pretty much canceled now, so I'm home now. But being over there and being able to adapt, it's a different style, and it made me become a better person. Not taking stuff that you in the NBA for granted that they do overseas. Like, for example, we have to carry our own shoes, we got to do our own laundry, get our own food, and do whatever. But those little things I didn't really see, like, appreciate as much in the NBA, because the NBA, they give you everything, right? So being over there was very humbling, and I'm just happy I did it. I don't regret it at all.
That's awesome, Andrew. I can just imagine, and it's night and day, right? U.S. to China, and the experiences overall. But for you personally, what are some of the biggest differences in playing, NBA, playing in China? Like you mentioned, as little things as carrying your own shoes and doing your own laundry. But what about the daily life on the court and off the court? What are some of the things that for you were toughest to adjust at first?
Definitely the language barrier. So my first year, I didn't speak a lick of Mandarin, and they don't speak a lick of English over there. So I had a translator with me everywhere I went. So I didn't really want to have a translator everywhere I went. So I started to pick up on the language a little bit. So if I go to a restaurant, I'm able to order. If I want directions, I'm able to figure out how to get somewhere. But living over there, it was really like opening for me as a person, because I had a lot of downtime. So I practiced, I come back to the hotel, couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything, because I couldn't really talk to anybody. But then we had the breaks. We had 2 FIBA breaks, and it was either be comfortable and fly back home for a week and then come back, or I can stay in Asia and get to explore different parts of the world. So my fiance, we would go to like Thailand, or we go to the Philippines or Tokyo or something, just to see a different part of Asia, and just educate ourselves on like how different parts of the world are. So being able to do that, enabled me to say, I've been to these parts of the world, this is their kind of living. So I kind of started to get a better understanding of how, they live in China as well too. And then I started to embrace the culture and enjoyed it.
That is super awesome. So it did give you the time for personal travel, but one thing I'm interested in is, how did the league travel? Like, what would you say is major differences between how the CBA travels with players and how the NBA takes care of it?
Oh, travel day is all day. It's always delayed. You get in late. You leave early, you get in late. So it's like we travel domestic, and like I said, everything was delayed. Average travel time could be 2.5 to 3 hours, but with the delays, it could be 7 or 8, right? So we come in, we fly in. Sometimes we go shoot around. Sometimes we just go straight to the hotel. And then game day is the next day. And then after the game, we would stay there and we'd fly out the next morning, another whole day.
Perfect. So, I mean, yeah, definitely. You can definitely tell the difference between the NBA traveling and China travel in this case.
Oh yeah, NBA. The game's over. You're on the plane. You have lobster tail waiting for you. Nice warm blanket. Land in the next city.
Night and day.
I miss that.
Have you picked up some Mandarin? Are you able to speak it?
I have picked up some Mandarin. So just a basic Mandarin where I can order something, or I can ask, how to get there, and some basketball stuff. That's really it. But nothing advanced.
Enough to get by, right?
Enough to get by, like broken Mandarin.
Gotcha. Now, one thing you mentioned is you miss certain things about the NBA. Now, in your future career, you're still a player that can come back, has shown enough talent in China to come back to the NBA. Is that in your plans? If things align correctly, are you willing, or would you like to come back to the NBA?
Absolutely. I would love to come back, but wherever the ball takes me in this world, I'm always going to be grateful and thankful and adaptable for it, because there's always a plan. And if the plan is for me to come back, I will come back with a big smile, open-handedness. But if my plan is to go play somewhere else and make a difference, experience something that I need to experience, then I'll do that as well too.
Perfect.
That's an awesome mentality to have, that allows you to thrive, because you're not holding yourself back by, man, I wish I was in a different situation. That's really honorable.
Absolutely. I can only control what I can control it. We can only play basketball for so long, right? So you just got to make the best of any situation that it gives you. There's always a silver lining, is what I say.
Right.
Now, does it make you feel more comfortable when you're playing in China with, I would imagine, having another U.S. player playing with you on the same roster?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you build a lot of relationships with them. So every teammate that I played with, we've become like great friends. Actually, they're at our wedding. They're all going to be coming. The 2 teammates I had in Guangdong, the 2 I had in Fujian, and the 2 I had in Guangzhou. So we're going to have a lot of people that are going to be at that, because you make those relationships being overseas. Basically, you're the only guys that speak English, right? You're the only imports, and you can either hate each other or you can love each other, and it makes it a lot easier if you love each other, right? So.
And Andrew, we're going to jump into this next portion that we call In the OZone with Andrew Nicholson. Pretty simple. We're going to ask you some questions, and they're going to be rapid fire, all right? So The very first one, why do you wear the number 44?
It's funny. That was the first number I had in high school, and I just rolled with it. I rolled with it all high school. I rolled with it all college. Any team I played for, like in the summer or whatever, always just got 44. China always had 44. Oddly enough, 44 is an unlucky number over in China.
Oh, man.
I don't know why, but
interesting.
I still rock.
There you go.
I still rock.
So how about your favorite Chinese cuisine?
I really love hagao. So hagao is like it's like the shrimp dumpling that's they boil it, and it's like is it right? It's rice.
Egg, rice.
Shrimp hagao is what I like. Shrimp hagao. Yeah, it's kind of like a dim sum. It's a dim sum.
Okay. Favorite Magic teammate?
Favorite Magic teammate? Man. Oh, I got a bunch of them. I was real close with Tobias. I love Aaron Gordon. Aaron is such a good dude, man. He's humble. He works hard, and I always vibe with Aaron. Aaron's a great dude. Vucevic, of course. Victor Oladipo. Loved his singing. Always singing.
Yeah, they need to make a song together. Oladipo and Aaron Gordon.
Yeah,
I just thought about that.
I heard Aaron's rapping right
Make
now,
it happen.
or he's got the album coming out.
I was going to ask you, have you heard his songs yet?
I haven't heard the songs, but I heard talks of him releasing an album. I follow him on Instagram, so I've seen like an album's coming soon. That'd be a great collab, man. A Magic collab right there.
Oh, we got to make it happen.
If you need backup vocals, I'm more than happy to help. So
There you go.
All right. So, Jacque Vaughn or Scott Skiles?
Scott Skiles, 100%.
Nice.
100%. Scott Skiles gave me an opportunity to be successful my 4th year. He trusted me in that stretch that we were. That was a great year. I think we won like 36 games or something like that. Man, the whole team dynamic just changed. Scott Skiles was one of my favorite NBA coaches I've had, for sure. He was tough. He was really tough. But he helped me get better. Defensively, because he held you accountable. If you're on the court, he'd always prepare you. So if you went up there and you messed up, there would be no excuse, because shoot around, he prepared you, and he just definitely changed the whole mentality. And he put me back in the post as opposed to shoving me in the corner like I did in my whole 3rd year. So I was like, okay, thank you for remembering that I can do that. So definitely Scott Skiles. He definitely had a good impact on me. That.
Was it a big surprise the following year when he decided just not to come back? Was it like towards the end of the season? Was it something that maybe some of the players may have heard, were expecting, or was it a complete shock for everyone?
I heard it. I don't know what exactly happened, because between the coach and the management, I'm a player. I don't really know what's going on up there, but I was sad to hear it. I mean, yeah, he was tough, but he got us better. I mean, the 3 years prior, we won like 20-something games, low 20. then he comes in and we win 37 or something like that. So sometimes I think of what would have been if we stayed.
Yeah.
We won maybe 40 games or not, regardless, I thought he was a great impact for us.
So final question, kind of just self-reflective a little bit. If you could define Andrew Nicholson in one word, what would it be and why?
Define me as a player, as a basketball player?
In life.
Oh, in life? In one word, eh? In one word. I could definitely say I'm very adaptable. In any situation, I always see, the silver lining and the positivity in it. Even when it's like, for me, like for example, basketball. When you're not playing, what do? I go in the weight room. I lift weight. Bill Burgos is one of me and him are still super close. Like even the times that I wasn't playing, he always got me ready. I was always, in shape. I was always strong. I always thought like there was an opportunity for me to get better. So when I went back on the court, I could show I'm still here. And even when you are playing, you don't take that opportunity for granted. You go out there, you give 1,000%, and you just support your team, support your teammates, because we're all playing for the right thing. So regardless of any situation, I always try to make the best out of it.
Mr. YMCA, I appreciate you joining us on the podcast. Thank you so much, and it was a pleasure, man. Thank you.
Anytime, man. It was fun.
Thank you for listening to the OZone podcast, the voice of Magic fans.
Be sure to visit our website, theozonepod.com, and remember to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on all your favorite podcast listening platforms.